Hello and welcome to Car Talk from National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers. And we're broadcasting this week what you've heard of cruel and unusual punishment.
I have, yeah.
This isn't cruel,
What
but
do you think this is?
it certainly is unusual punishment. And listen to this description. Go ahead, give us the sound effects. Birds are chirping. It's a bright sunny day. The prisoners march in lockstep, sporting identical crew cuts and crisply pressed gray uniforms. They are not permitted to speak during meals. They are taught to repent and to make amends to their victims.
Yeah.
Do you know what this prison is for? You do, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Read the clipping
I
news.
have the news article right here from the Boston Sunday Globe, April 12, 1998. In Japanese prison, traffic offenders are shown errors of their ways. It says this is not a place for hardcore criminals. Ichihara Prison is reserved for dangerously irresponsible drivers.
Aha.
And they go to jail.
That's good. See, the
They
Japanese,
go to jail.
they don't fool around.
And that's the way it ought to be. I am moving to Japan because I realized that both the police and whoever else is involved in whatever kinds of law enforcement are supposed to be taking place in this country have given up. They've given up. The police have thrown up their hands and the judges have thrown up their hands and said, we give up. You guys win. Do whatever you want.
There you go.
So I am moving to Japan.
Thank
Get this.
God.
It says that Ishiyama, who's I guess the warden, says the Japanese way of thinking is that one must never cause trouble to others.
Yes, that's the kind of the Japanese golden rule.
You must never cause trouble to others. I've been
What's
meaning
your
to talk to you about this. I guess they won't let me in, will
Well, if
they?
you want to cause trouble for us, you can call us at 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello.
Hey, wait a minute. Stop right there.
I stopped. I'm dead. I'm dead in my tracks.
I got a letter here from somebody. Where is it? You're going to love this. Dear Tom, this is from Ed Drewitz. I've devised a few additional quick and easy ways that you can use to announce your new Car Talk telephone number, 1-888-227-8255. For example, did you know it is the anti-log of 10.27605439324? Did you know that it is 2,662.879194172 cubed? Do you know that it's the cosine of 79.1159 degrees times 10 billion? It's the anti-log of 10.276054393.
Is it really?
That's the way to do it from now on.
Okay, well, you'll be in
See
charge.
how many mathematicians call us?
You'll be in charge of the higher mathematics department.
What is the number?
1-888-227-8255.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, hello, you're on Car Talk.
This is Matt in Prescott,
Prescott.
Arizona.
Matt Prescott.
Arizona.
What's up, Matt?
I got an 83 Toyota 4x4 pickup, and it only roll starts.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking it's the starter, but I want to know if I should
Sounds
get a
good.
new one or rebuild it.
You turn the key, and what does it do?
Nothing.
Nada.
Nada.
This vehicle, if I'm not mistaken, is it a standard shift?
Yeah.
It has a switch on the clutch pedal that prevents you from starting it unless you depress the clutch. Is that true?
Yes.
It's possible that switch is no good. And if that switch is no good, it would behave exactly the same way as a bad starter or a broken wire someplace else. If you stick your head up under the dash, you will be able to see that there is the clutch pedal. You'll see where the clutch pedal pivots.
Okay.
And attached to a bracket in the vicinity of the clutch pedal is this little switch. Looks like a little silver cylinder that's maybe about 3/4 of an inch in diameter and has two wires connected to it.
When you step on the clutch, you physically depress this switch.
Okay.
And then this allows current to go from the key to the solenoid, which turns the starter motor, which starts the vehicle.
Okay.
But without this part working correctly, nothing will happen. It would be the equivalent if you're trying to start it without stepping on the clutch at all.
Okay.
So what you must do is take these two wires, disconnect them from this little switch, stick a paper clip into where the two wires would have connected to the switch. In other words, you're going to jump the switch.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? And then you're going to try to start it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it starts, you need to replace that switch.
Yeah, and
or
replace
get
it.
a stronger paper clip.
And you do have to replace it because that means you'll be able to start it without stepping on the clutch which is dangerous.
Well, we did.
We did do it for 150 years. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the new mentality we have of doing everything for morons, make everything so that the stupidest person can handle it, we've got to have this switch.
Right.
We're going to have cars that talk to us and that remind us to check the
and despite
oil.
all the lobbying by the RGDA,
I'm tired of parking on hills, too.
What's the RGDA?
the Replacement Garage Door Association,
Yeah.
this technology has prevailed. So,
It has, yeah.
So if the switch is bad and you don't think you can deal with having the switch out of the circuit, don't leave it jumped. Replace it.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
See you, Matt.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Cameron. I'm calling from San Francisco.
Cameron?
Cameron.
Cameron, that's right.
Cameron.
I have a serious problem.
Speak to us, oh great one.
Okay. I'm writing a book called The Bad Girl's Guide to the Open Road. It's due to my publisher next week, and I still haven't figured out how to burn rubber. Now, this is something that I think women really, really need to know how to do.
Yeah.
And the men in my family have disappointed me, and I thought I'd call you guys and see if you could help me out.
Well,
What is this book, The Bad Girl's Guide to the Open Road?
how
Well,
girls can behave badly behind the wheel of the car, just like boys have done since the beginning of time.
Exactly.
We don't need this
exactly.
book.
Oh, we do need this
We
book.
don't need this book.
What, did they give you an advance?
Absolutely.
Well, then-
Take it and run. Don't deliver the damn book. Let them chase you.
Well, it's
Well, it's interesting because I have noticed, and I was in the process of writing a little R&R, as we call them, a rant and rave, about the fact that more and more women are testosterone poisoned. I have found more incivility, is there such a word?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Among women. More aggressiveness on the road among women
Well,
lately.
maybe it's just directed toward
To me.
you.
Well, I'm hoping that women who will buy my book, and there will be even more of them out there on the road doing the same thing.
And you'll be rich, and you won't care. Because you'll be living on the Amalfi Coast, and you won't care what goes on here. But that's
No,
okay.
It's a fun book. It's a humor book. It's,
Yeah, we understand.
I hope so.
All right,
here's how you do it.
How to burn rubber.
First of all, if you have an automatic transmission car, it's kind of hard to do.
And if
Not
you have-
impossible.
And if you have traction control, it's hard to do
Yeah.
too because it won't permit you to burn rubber.
Right.
See, I think that might be my problem with one of the cars I've been trying.
Well, back in the I remember when I was in high school, my pal Ed Green convinced his father to buy
What facility is he in now?
I don't really know.
Yeah.
It's
All
a-
your
it's-
friends from
it's
high
a-
school
it's a
seem to be in
federal
some kind of
facility
federal facility.
Some kind. But he convinced his father to buy a brand new, I believe it was a 65 Chevrolet. What was it called at that time? Impala, probably.
Impala, yeah.
With a stick shift.
No.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So he buys this car with a big
And a
V8
350 engine.
and a stick shift. And this was a car for burning rubber. In fact, the great deal was to drop someone off at his house an hour after his curfew. Yeah. And as he was trying to sneak in to, as they said, lay a patch of rubber by doing the following: putting the gas pedal about 90% of the way to the floor and popping
While
the
your
clutch.
foot is still on the clutch.
Yeah, your foot's down on the clutch.
You're in first
You
gear.
put it in first gear, you floor the gas, and you let that clutch right up, and it is accompanied by screeching tires and smoke. The smoke is burning rubber.
Yeah.
And all the neighbors, of course, would turn their lights on, and it would be pretty exciting. So that's the classic way to do it, and you have to figure out how to do that with littler cars, which isn't so easy anymore.
It's not so easy.
Yeah, I was not getting the desired effect. It was sort of sounding like an embarrassed.
Well, what are you trying it with?
Are you doing it with a stick shift?
I've tried it with a stick shift and
Automatic.
automatic. Yeah.
Well, with an automatic, you can load it up. You can floor the gas pedal practically while holding your foot on the brake.
Get it up right past that red line. Get it up to like 7,000 or 8,000 RPM, and then pop the clutch, and you'll burn rubber.
Yeah, if you get the RPMs high enough, you can do it with even a Honda Civic.
Yeah.
Now, one other question: how bad is it for the car?
It's bad.
It's bad.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But every now and then,
Yeah, I mean,
it
Ed
feels
Green
good
did
to
it
do
Ed
with
Green
his
did it.
father's car. What did he care?
Right. It's better to do it with someone else's.
It's better to do it with someone else's.
Got
so
it. Okay.
borrow a car and borrow a friend's car.
Okay.
Good luck, Cameron.
You won't mind.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, our pleasure. It's always good to help.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Now, before we give the answer to last week's puzzle, we have to take a short break.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Frankenstein warned me to be sure to let my brother's brain cool off every 20 minutes or so, or he'll get afraid of fire, and we don't want that to happen.
We'll be back in a minute.
This message comes from Wise, the app for doing things in other currencies. With Wise, you can send, spend, or receive money across borders, all at a fair exchange rate. No markups or hidden fees. Join millions of customers and visit wise.com. T's and C's apply.
This is Ira Glass, the host of This American Life. So much is changing so rapidly right now with President Trump in office. It feels good to pause for a moment sometimes and look around at what's what. To try and do that, we've been finding these incredible stories about right now that are funny and have feeling, and you get to see people everywhere making sense of this new America that we find ourselves in. This American Life, wherever you get your podcasts.
These days, there's a lot of news. It can be hard to keep up with what it means for you, your family, and your community. Consider This from NPR as a podcast that helps you make sense of the news. 6 days a week, we bring you a deep dive on a story and provide the context, backstory, and analysis you need to understand our rapidly changing world. Listen to the Consider This podcast from NPR.
Look, we get it. When it comes to new music, there is a lot of it, and it all comes really fast. But on All Songs Considered, NPR's music recommendation podcast, we'll handpick what we think's the greatest music happening right now and give you your next great listen. So kick back, settle in, get those eardrums wide open, and get your dose of new music from All Songs Considered, only from NPR.
Hi, we're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers, and here is the answer to last week's puzzler.
What was the puzzler?
You're
going to tell us.
No, I'm going to tell you because this is not the kind of puzzler that you'd remember. Most aren't, actually.
No, yeah, it doesn't matter.
A customer who shall remain nameless called up the other day and said that a brake job we'd done had gone awry. We'd done a brake job on his old Volvo. We had put on new pads and new disc rotors on all four wheels.
Yeah, the bad rotors.
And it was all right for several months. And all of a sudden, Dick calls and says, Dick. It says, gee, now when I step on the brakes, I get a rumbling. In fact, when I step on the brakes really hard, the worse it is. If I step on them gently, it's hardly noticeable, if at all. But when I really step on that pedal, boy, those things rumble and shake like crazy. I said, geez, I don't know. One of those discs must be warped, he says. He brings the car in and we drive it around, and sure enough, he's right. It is rumbling, classic symptom of a warped disc.
Yeah.
Anyway, we put the dial indicator on this thing and determined that there's nothing wrong with any of the new discs. So we check all the bushings, the tie rod ends, the ball joints, you name it. We check everything, figuring that any one of these front-end components could be wobbling and causing this problem because there are interesting dynamics set up when you slow the wheels down.
Sure.
But we find nothing. So since Dick is a pain in the neck.
What's his last name?
Was he supposed to remain nameless? We put 4 new discs on, figuring that maybe the dial indicator's off. Who knows? I mean, why not? The guy's a good customer.
Even though all evidence is to the contrary, the customer is always right. He says he's got bad discs. He's got bad discs.
Right, and he spent thousands on this job anyway.
Thousands?
We drive the car. Guess what? The same thing happens. Back on the lift it goes, and hours go by. We have Ralph chained to his toolbox until he figures the thing out, and he's standing there underneath the car, right in the middle of the car with wrenches in hand. And he's ready to remove something, and I say, what are you doing? And he says, I know what's wrong with the car. What you going to remove that's right in the middle of the car that's going to solve the problem? There are no brake parts in the middle of the car.
When you said this, I said the hanger bearing. You said no. I said the transmission mount. You said no.
But you were close. You were close.
Drive shaft.
Yes, Dick had a seized universal joint.
No kidding.
So when you step on the brake, what happens is this. When you step on the brake at low speed, or when you step on the brake gently.
I got it, of course.
The angle of the car doesn't change much with respect to the ground. But when you step on the brakes hard, the car does something called nosing or diving. The front bumper dives to the ground.
Half gainer?
Half gainer. And the drive shaft has universal joints on it, which must flex. But if one of those universal joints is seized when you're asking it to flex to accommodate this new angle of operation, it begins to shake like crazy.
Yeah.
It was only doing it on hard braking. Ralph figured out that it was because the thing was nosing and causing that seize joint to have to try to bend, and it couldn't. That was causing the vibration. Pretty nifty, eh?
So he took out the drive shaft, and sure enough, you found that to be true.
No, it was all right, actually. We sold them new joints anyway. And rear struts. No, that was it. And it solved the problem. Who's our winner, Tommy, of our 10th anniversary
I'm looking.
Car Talk
I'm
t-shirt
looking for his
this
name.
week?
I got pieces of paper. Here it is. The winner is Dan Vicentin.
Okay.
From Oyster Bay, New York. And for having his correct answer chosen at random from among the thousands of the correct answers that we got this week. Dan Vicentin from Oyster Bay, New York. It's a t-shirt that says, celebrating 10 years of bad car advice. How come everyone who writes to us says, P.S. I wear an extra large? Does that say something about our show? Everyone says, I wear an extra large.
No, you know why they all want extra large? If you're going to clean windows with this,
You want
a small one.
You want as much material as you can get.
There you go.
And the extra large ones are the same price as the small ones.
Yes, indeed. Which is, if you win the puzzler, free. Now, we have a brand new automotive/logic puzzler coming up in the third half of today's show. So don't touch that dial. I think it's kind of nifty. In the meantime, we'll take your calls, of course, at 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car
Good
Talk.
help yourself, could you?
This is Ted. I'm in Chicago. How you guys doing?
Hey, Ted, we're doing great. What's up, man?
Well, here's the deal, guys. I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this. I did take your recommendation on never buying a new car.
Yeah.
However,
You went
I was flipping
too
through
far
the Auto
overboard.
Trader, and I saw one of those auto auction deals.
Oh, yeah.
It's a federal auto auction, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So anyway, I picked up a Ford Probe. It's a 1991 GL. It's 4-cylinder. It's a 5-speed.
Wait, let me get this down. Ford Probe.
Yep.
GL, 4-cylinder, 5-speed.
Correct.
Got it.
What year?
91.
91.
Pay attention.
I wasn't paying attention.
So, they started the auction at $2,600. I looked in the car. The interior was pretty good. It had 134,000 miles on it, to which I said, walk away. I started walking away, and by the time I turned around, some guy's in my face going, you want it for $500? So I said, what the hell? Let's go to Vegas. And I did it.
Why not?
$500?
Exactly, for a 91. I figured even if it's completely spent, I could trade it in for at least that.
Of course.
So I take it over to one of these shops. It's a national thing. I'm not going to advertise for them.
Yeah.
They take a look. They put it on a diagnostic machine. They say the compression's good. The engine seems good. It needs new brakes and some other minor things. So I invest about $800 in brakes, a new timing belt, new struts.
Did you have the Pep Boys do the work or not?
That was them, yeah. Yeah, they did do the work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they were good. Now, I get home. I park it in my garage. I come out the next morning. It's about 35 degrees. I start the car, and it's as if I work for a special effects house in a movie
Smoke.
business.
Oh.
The smoke.
Because it is just smoking down the street, man. I mean, it was just blue, gray, white, I don't know what color smoke, and it would go for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Really heavy.
Yeah.
And then it stops.
Yeah.
And you didn't notice this when you first started it.
Well, see, the way they auction it off is they drive it up in front of you. It's already running.
Oh, they're warming them up in
So
the
they
back
warm
room.
them up outside.
Yeah,
that's
I got
right.
it.
So I take it to my closest mechanic, who's just a privately owned little thing. And the guy looks into it, and he goes, could be the valve stem seals, could be the head gasket, could be the rings.
I
could
think
be
you
blah,
need
blah,
an
blah,
upper
blah, blah.
GI series.
What is that exactly?
You need an engine.
Okay, so
Ted.
I need to take...
we'll cut right to the chase here.
Exactly.
You need an engine. You don't have any bad valve guide seals. You got those, plus you got no rings left.
Really?
Yeah.
How much am I looking at investing? Because, again, I've paid maybe $1,600 for it, and I don't know how far I should continue to go.
Well, you're looking at another $2,000.
Yeah.
Unless you wanted to get a used engine.
Okay.
I mean, if these Pep Boy guys have checked it out and it really doesn't need any more stuff
Okay.
except for an engine,
Yeah.
why not?
But now who would I go to put in an engine for me?
Your other guy that checked out the engine,
Yeah.
he may be willing to buy an engine for this thing and put it in. I mean, there are remanufacturers
Right.
that ship all over the country
Right.
that'll sell him an engine, and he'd drop this baby right in there, or you can try to find a good secondhand one. Something with low mileage, like 120, 125,000.
No, in all honesty, what do I want to chase? Like 40, 50, 60,000 miles on the
Yeah,
rebuilt
I mean,
engine?
but if the difference in price is not significant, I would go for the rebuilt one.
I would go for the rebuilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for less than $4,000, you're going to have a car with a rebuilt engine and a new clutch, which you're obviously going to do when they do the engine.
Right.
And it's going to be a dreamboat.
It's going to be a dreamboat.
Fantastic.
Good luck,
See you,
Ted.
Ted.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thanks for your call.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Hey, do you know what it's time for now?
Time to order more filters from Universal Air Systems?
No, it's time to play Stump the Chumps. This is the part of the show where we bring back a previous caller to find out how good or bad our advice was.
And where on the continuum lies between useless and criminally negligent.
Everybody's so picky these days. Anyway, today's contestant on Stump the Chumps is Kim from Charlottesville, Virginia. Kim, as all our callers are, is an art history major. And even though she was very busy working on her friolator technique, she found time to call us about her 88 Dodge Omni.
Now, there's a work of art.
Yes, a timeless design. Anyway, it was overheating in a very bizarre way. I remember this call. The temperature gauge would shoot up to the hot zone whenever she turned on the heat. On, Jerry.
All right, I got it. Well, that doesn't make any sense.
No, if the engine's overheating, the temperature gauge should go down when you turn the heat on.
Well,
right?
we were quite stumped by all of this until you, I believe, had a little brain drizzle.
I did?
Yes, I remember it well.
Refill the overfill reservoir.
Okay, I've got it.
You've solved it.
I have got it.
Go ahead.
You are going to love... I could kill you. This is going to be so good.
Get it over with because the longer...
No, even you are going to love... You're going to say, how the hell did you figure that
The
out?
longer you applaud yourself, the harder the humiliation is going to be to accept.
Get this.
I'm ready.
Okay.
You have a leak such that it is squirting.
Oh, this is the most bogus.
Hot coolant is squirting. Are you ready for this?
Onto the
Okay.
temperature.
On the temperature gauge.
Oh, no.
Boy, when you go for it.
I really go for it. I didn't leave myself any way out of this, did I?
No wiggle room. Was the term up the river mean anything?
All right, let's just get right to it. Kim, are you there?
Hi.
All right, Kim, before you reveal to the world whether I'm a genius or a moron, again, my brother has to read you the common Miranda warning. Here it
Yes,
is.
have you ever worn fruit on your head? Is it true that the answers you're about to give here on Stump the Chumps have in no way been influenced by our staff, the staff of National Public Radio, or the maintenance workers at Yankee Stadium?
Yes.
All right, was my brother right or what?
He was completely off base. There weren't any place.
Oh, it felt so good, though.
Oh, well, I hope it felt good.
Well, did you ever figure out what it was?
It's the head gasket.
What?
They pressure tested it 3 times, and it was only when the heat was on that they found that there was a leak in the head gasket.
If I'm not mistaken, that
Boy.
was one of my suggestions. Was it not, Kim?
It was.
And what happened? You know what happened? You got wowed by the flash. My answer was nice and quietly stated. I mean, there was no big fanfare. He comes up with the, I got it. I thought he spilled a cup of coffee in his lap.
No, even you, when we discussed the head gasket issue, I remember even you saying it doesn't make sense that she turns on the heater and the gauge goes flying up.
No,
it didn't make sense. Still today doesn't make sense.
I do remember having said that I've seen it happen like that. Didn't I say that, Kim?
I think you mentioned that with somebody else who had a similar car.
Yeah. I mean, he's my older brother. And,
Jeez.
Well,
it sounded so good to me, at least.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, well, all of the mechanics that I mentioned that to looked at me like I was really nuts.
You didn't tell them who said
Right, and then I told them where I got the information.
Oh, well. Well, so your car's all fixed?
No.
No.
Now the engine is sputtering.
Well, I mean, I hate to argue here, but, I mean, it's possible that you do need a head gasket, but it may not have anything to do with the strange behavior of the temperature gauge.
I don't think...
I have to appeal.
You ever heard the term, cut your losses?
I'm sorry, I have to appeal this decision. Oh, the appeal was denied. Okay, well, easy come, easy go.
Kim, thanks for playing Stump the Chumps.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry that our answer didn't help you, but you will live to fight another day, I'm sure.
Yes.
Did you get a job yet?
No, not yet.
No.
I'm still working on that dissertation.
Oh, okay. And are you practicing your verbal skills? Do you want fries with that?
No.
See
You guys are awful.
Good luck.
Artistry is a noble profession.
It is, I know.
Okay.
Good luck. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Now, before we get to the new puzzler, we have to take a short break.
Take a haircut?
Fortunately, just a trip.
Keeping up with the news can feel like a 24-hour job. Luckily, it is our job. Every hour on the NPR News Now podcast, we take the latest, most important stories happening, and we package them into 5-minute episodes so you can easily squeeze them in between meetings and on your way to that thing. Listen to the NPR News Now podcast. Now.
I'm Tanya Mosley, co-host of Fresh Air. At a time of sound bites and short attention spans, our show is all about the deep dive. We do long-form interviews with people behind the best in film, books, TV, music, and journalism. Hear our guests open up about their process and their lives in ways you've never heard before. Listen to the Fresh Air podcast from NPR and WHYY.
Sean Diddy Combs could go to prison for the rest of his life if he's found guilty of charges including racketeering and sex trafficking. Keep up with the trial by following Here and Now Anytime, a daily podcast from NPR and WBUR. We're covering Diddy's trial, the rest of the news, and a lot more. Every afternoon on Here and Now Anytime.
Does the idea of listening to political news freak you out? Well, don't sweat it. The NPR Politics Podcast makes politics a breeze. Every episode will break down the day's headlines into totally normal language and make sure that you walk away understanding what the day's news might mean for you. Take a deep breath and give politics another chance with the NPR Politics Podcast. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
We're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers, and we're here to discuss cars, car repair. We haven't discussed either one so far. And the new puzzler. Now,
which you said would be partially automotive and partly...
Well, I said automotive / logic.
Yeah, okay.
Now...
Well, they're all that.
I got to tell you that I remember having used this puzzler before, but my compatriots, i.e. my brother and Berman, insisted I haven't. Oh. And our staff archivist, recent emigre from Southeast Asia, Slong Gone, says that she checked all the tapes and
it's not there.
It's not there. So I'm going to assume that I didn't use it, and here it is.
I don't remember.
Many, many years ago, I receive a late-night phone call from my brother who tells me that his car has broken down. He says, I need help. Do you have a rope to tow with? And I say, yeah, sure. I'll be right there. So I watched Ted Koppel. I watched The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. I watched the late movie, and then I take a shower.
Tom Snyder. Yeah. Paid programming.
And I decide
Psychic Network
to head out and give him a hand.
Yeah.
And I arrive with my car, tow rope in hand, and he's, of course, asleep in the car, snuggled up with one of his pet raccoons. And I wake him and ask him what the story is. He tells me what's wrong with the car. I say, I can't tow you, you knucklehead.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, no, we only have a few blocks to go. I can tow you. And I say,
the Indian rope trick?
Holy cow. And he's right. What's he talking about?
You never used this puzzler.
What's wrong with his car?
Yeah.
That enables him. He's broken down now. He called me.
Yeah.
Woke me up.
Yeah. Good.
Made me come out there, and he's going to tow me home?
I can't tow you, and I say, I'll tow you.
There you go. Now, if you think you know the answer,
this is good.
Or the boss is away this week and your cubicle is near the stamp machine, send your answer to Puzzler Tower, Car Talk Plaza, Box 3500, Harvard Square, Cambridge.
Our fair city.
Ma 02238. Or you can email us your answer from our website, cartalk.msn.com. Just click on the Talk to Car Talk section. And if we choose your correct answer at random from among all the correct answers, you'll get one of our new Car Talk T-shirts featuring the slogan celebrating 10 years of bad car advice. Well, you always have to do those disclaimers in a hurried fashion. Otherwise,
yeah, it's the equivalent of
hate you.
small print. It's called fast talking.
If you'd like to call us, our number is 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
This is Paula from Tulsa.
Hi, Paula. How are you?
Actually, I've been waiting a long time to have a car problem just to talk to you.
Really?
Yeah.
And you have one now.
Cool.
Well, here's the problem. It's an 88 Bronco 2. And whenever we hit about 2,000 RPMs, we hear this sort of whistle, and it goes up like perfect thirds every 500 RPMs. So at 2,000,
Great.
it goes like like that.
Yeah.
And you can't hear it outside the car, and you can't hear it if you open up the hood. You can only hear it in the car.
Right.
And it sounds like it comes from under the passenger area.
Love it.
It sounds like it comes from the area where the fuel sensor or the heater core is.
Under the dashboard.
Yes, and when you let up the accelerator, it quits. It doesn't like go down in thirds in sound. It just quits immediately.
I love it.
Wait, let me just get the whole. No,
the noise is coming from under the dash.
It's coming from under, and it's constant.
At 2,000 RPM.
So at 2,000, you get the sound. Woo! And then if you start to accelerate,
it stays at that sound until you hit to 2,500, and it goes.
And then it jumps to the next third.
Yeah,
a major third or a minor third?
I think it's a minor third.
A minor third.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like.
And then it will stay at that third until you get to 3,000 RPM, and then it will jump up
to a higher third.
All right, well, before we lose any more listeners than we already have lost this week, I'll try to give you the answer.
Okay.
The answer is coming from the device, which is the heater control device, which is operated by vacuum. And you have a vacuum source that is coming through the firewall that supplies that heater control mechanism.
Right.
And that's going to be broken somehow. There's a vacuum leak there, and it changes when you increase the RPM because the vacuum goes down.
Oh,
the
so
way you're going to isolate it is you're going to find that hose that comes through the firewall that supplies the vacuum to the heater, and you're going to remove it.
Okay.
But when you do that, you can plug that thing with a little rubber cap and then drive the vehicle, and the noise will be gone.
Okay.
I don't want to ask any embarrassing questions at this late hour.
Never stopped you before.
But how does this explain
every day is the answer.
The incremental thirds every 500 RPM?
I mean...
Come on, that's what I was hoping for. I mean, sure, anything you can say, anything makes a sound. She gave us some very precise specifications
I don't know.
here.
I do not know what peculiar dynamics are at work here. I missed this course.
Then don't waste our time with the rest of your theories because they don't matter.
Of course they matter.
The only thing that we're interested in is the physics involved in this quantum leap of thirds. That's all we care about. You can take your vacuum hose and stuff it.
One other thing that I wrote down that I forgot to tell you.
Oh, good.
Well, the fuel was low, and then when we topped off the tank, the noise was still there, but not as loud.
Oh, okay.
See? Now he's got it. Now he's going to go with the fuel pump theory.
And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why.
And you're going to tell us exactly why the thirds occur.
Well, I don't know why the thirds occur. But it
is the fuel pump, isn't it?
Yeah, the fuel pump pressure does change as a result of engine RPM because of the fuel pressure regulator.
Okay.
Which has a vacuum. See, it's back to that vacuum, which is controlled by a vacuum source.
Okay.
And the noise would be, here's the noise it makes. How about this?
Do we get paid to do it?
It's more like you take a comb and put a piece of paper over it.
Yeah, that's the noise. That's the noise. I'm trying to do it.
Okay.
That's the noise.
Well, the fuel sensor...
It's the Felix Unger noise.
Yeah.
I'm still leaning toward my heater control mechanism theory.
Okay.
And I want you to pinch off that vacuum hose.
So it's to pinch off the vacuum hose.
That feeds the heater. Okay?
Try that. I mean, I don't think my brother's wrong about this. It's just that I was hoping for more.
Something elegant.
I was hoping for an elegant explaining the thirds.
Yeah.
The thirds. I mean, that would really take.
It's definitely minor thirds.
Give me a minor third. Sure. You might as well just heap it right on. What the hell?
Hey, Paula, we will work on this. This is not the end of this story.
Okay.
You do your part. You pinch off that vacuum hose and tell us if the noise goes away. And we will be working on a theory of minor thirds.
Okay.
See ya, Paula.
Thanks for calling.
Okay.
Well, it's happened again. You've sublimated another hour listening to Car Talk. Our esteemed producer is Doug the Subway Fugitive, not a slave to fashion Berman. Our associate producer and Dean of the College of Automusicology is Ken Babyface Rogers. Our assistant producer is Catherine Crystal Ray. And our engineer is Jonathan Superhighway Sideburns Marston. Our technical and spiritual advisor, who's in all his splendor, is here today.
Glory and splendor.
Is Mr. John S. Lawler, Esquire. Our public opinion pollster is Paul Murky of Murky Research, assisted by statistician Marge Novera. Our director of new product repair is Warren T. Myfoot, assisted by our customer care representative, Haywood Jabuzzoff. Our staff urologist is Willa Catheter, and the president of the Car Talk Hair Club for Men is Emerson Fithabaldi. He's back. Who, by the way, is of course also a client, right? He's not just the president.
Of course, he's a client.
Peekaboo Street directs our intensive care unit, which is known as the Peekaboo ICU. Our junkyard manager is Ricardo Dos Montalban, and our Leo Tolstoy biographer is Warren Peace, author of Leo Tolstoy by Warren Peace. Our chief counsel from the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe is Hugh Lewis Dewey, known to the other bow tie-wearing bums in Harvard Square as Huey Louie Dewey. Thanks so much for listening. We're Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers, and don't drive like my brother or my sister.
Don't drive like my brother or my sister.
We'll be back next week. Bye-bye.
And now, here is Mr. Vinny Gumbatz, Car Talk's chief mechanic, with a very important announcement.
Oh, all right. Now, if you want a copy of this week's Car Talk show, which is number 17, the number is 1888. God, jump.
And if someone wanted other Car Talk things, Vinny, like CDs or T-shirts, would they call that same number?
No, you called Jerry Seinfeld during his last tape, and of course you called the same number, 1888-CAR-JUNK, or you can get stuff through the online Shameless Commerce Division at cartalk.msn.com.
Vinny, you're bottling up your feelings again.
Hey, have I mentioned that I don't really like you?
That's better.
Car Talk is a production of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe and WBUR in Boston.
And even though Robert Siegel thinks about a midlife career change every time he hears us say it, this is NPR, National Public Radio.
Support for NPR comes from NPR member stations and Eric and Wendy Schmidt through the Schmidt Family Foundation, working toward a healthy, resilient, secure world for all. On the web at theschmidt.org.
Tariffs, recessions, how Colombian drug cartels gave us blueberries all year long. That's the kind of thing the Planet Money podcast explains. I'm Sarah Gonzalez, and on Planet Money, we help you understand the economy and how things all around you came to be the way they are. Para que sepas. So you know. Listen to the Planet Money podcast from NPR.
Are you like me suddenly using words like conclave, cardinal, and papabile in casual conversation? Well, friend, you too may be Pope-pilled. I had a whole list. I was starting with like 25, 30 names, and I was like whittling it down.
I'm imagining you like Claire Danes in Homeland, like the full board, like some strings connected. Yeah.
For everything you need to know about picking a new pope, listen to the It's Been a Minute podcast today.